Here we go again about the Nintendo haters. Yeah, these people are ridiculous as well. Console sales have grinded to a halt. First of all, most consoles are usually sold during the holiday season, which is usually between November, Black Friday week, and Christmas Day. Okay, the Switch 2 was always going to slow down on its second and third month because you have the hype month, which is the launch of the month as well, and it's an unorthodox release schedule because guess what? Consoles usually release weeks before the holidays, which usually have this huge holiday sales, and then you have a massive drop off from the holidays as well here. Also, the console is still selling at least 100,000 consoles a week, which is still very, very impressive as well. Okay, yeah, as well. Okay, and yeah, the console sales are gonna increase more once the holidays come around, once ZA comes around, once Kirby comes around, once Hyrule Warriors comes around. Okay, Mario Kart World selling less than 8 deluxe. There's a huge misconception about this, but of course, Forte is so dumb they can't understand. That's physical copies only. That's not including the bundle, which the UK charts does not include. Yes, Mario Kart World physical copies outside in Worlds and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but that's not including digital copies and the bundled games. Okay, most people who are going to get the Switch 2 are going to get Mario Kart bundled with the Switch 2. Okay. Nintendo reportedly withholding Switch 2 dev kits from developers and telling them to develop for the Switch 1 instead. Nintendo never. I don't think Nintendo ever said that. Okay, as well. Yeah, but Nintendo is now actually doing handing out dev kits to most developers as well, and now the Switch 2 hardware is public to everybody. So now anyone can just develop the Switch 2 for the Switch 2. Metroid Prime 4 Pokemon Z both coming out with a Switch 1 versions. No exclusives announced. Oh, you have Kirby. You have as well. Also, Nintendo is trying to incentivize the Switch 2 version selling because it's the definitive version. But these people didn't compare about God of War Ragnarok also being on the PS4. Okay, they didn't compare with Spider-Man Miles Morales also being on the PS4. Okay, as well. Also, they didn't compare about Horizon Forbidden West not being on the being on the PS5 only. It was also on the PS4. As well, say Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was also on the Xbox One. But you guys ever compared about that? Okay, am I crazy for thinking that Nintendo is not committing for the Switch 2? It kind of seems like they want the Switch 1 to keep hobbying around like the PS4 for the first 5 years after the PS5. You know that Nintendo has done this for the NES and the SNES. Nintendo did this for the Game Boy Advance and the DS. Okay, Nintendo usually keeps the old consoles alive for a while because they don't know if the new console will be successful. Okay, heck, even the 3DS stayed alive for a couple of years until they realized, hey, the Switch is selling so well, we're gonna stop making 3DS games. Okay, they kept making 3DS games in the first 2 years of the Switch's launch as well, and then they realized the Switch is selling better than the 3DS, so the 3DS, was discontinued as well. Okay, it'll be the same for the Switch One. Once people realize that the Switch One isn't selling anymore, as well, they're gonna just go all around the Switch Two. Okay, as well. Yeah. Okay. The Switch 2 is gonna get developed. It's probably get games for all of next year and throughout 2027 and probably the last games throughout 2028. And Nintendo will focus entirely on the Switch 2 for that last 3 or 4 years. Okay. Because the Switch 2 is still selling. Okay. For people who can't get a Switch 2 now, they can still get a Switch 1. Okay. As well. And it's important that Nintendo still has games out both on Switch 1 and Switch 2. And I do think honestly Life Within the Dream and the new Rhythm Heaven game will also be on Switch 1 and Switch 2 as well, okay? And I'm glad Nintendo is actually putting out on both consoles, unlike with all those 3DS games. Like, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga still released on the 3DS and the Switch, okay? Same thing with Hey Pikmin, most of those games released at the end of the 3DS's lifespan. The Ultra games will release on the Switch as well. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarns will release on the Switch. Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story remakes will release on the Switch as well, along with the 3DS as well. I get the 3DS and Switch are different hardware, but that's what this video here. And no, Nintendo is not doomed at all, okay? As well. But yep, goodbye.